Happy Sunday to my sisters and brothers in Christ. I wanted to talk to you guys about one of my favorite topic, which is relationship. One of my favorite topics, which is relationships. I pray that you guys have had an amazing day, and as you come on, let me know that you're here while I get these shoes up off my feet, Lord. While I get these shoes up off my feet, let me know that you're here. Hello, Kendra, Mariah, Cindy. How are y'all? How are y'all? God bless you. God bless you. Thank you guys for coming on. I'm not going to be before you too long. Sister Shamika, Tayen, Sister Chrissy. Always a pleasure to see you, Sister Shantae, Sandra, Marie. God bless y'all. I wanted to talk today about relationships. And I believe that this is a message that you're going to want to share with your single friends. Hello, everybody. Hello. It's going to be a message that you're going to want to share with your single friends. Forgive me if I'm a little bit oily. I've had a really active day and I got boxes and stuff because I've been doing some renovations in the house. Just a little bit of a note, something I was thinking about before I went live. God is doing renovations on the inside of me. God is doing a work. And one of the things I've noticed is that whenever God is doing the work on the inside of me, many times I start feeling the need to do a work on the outside of me. So you can always tell when God is doing something on the inside because you feel the need to do something on the outside. Thank you, Sister Jamie. God bless you. You can always tell when God is doing something on the inside because you feel the need to do something. And that's a process that we call nesting. So when you're dealing, for example, with a pregnant woman, she nests to prepare for the arrival of her child. And a lot of times when God is doing the work on the inside of you is because he's preparing you for something. And you go through this season of nesting. Some of you are probably right there right now in a season of nesting, like you're moving furniture around in your house. You're getting rid of old clothes. You're doing stuff. And whenever that happens, just understand that in many cases that you are nesting. Yes. So do me a favor, time as this ministry. I'll go ahead and answer that. I've been struggling with masturbation urges even today while reading the word. That was strange. Is the enemy trying to deceive me that the word isn't enough? So you want to look in to see what you are pouring into your vessel. Now it can be a spirit of a lust or it can be a reality of lust. To have sexual urges within itself is not ungodly. It's what you do with those thoughts or what you do with your body that can be ungodly. So the Bible says, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. So you'll notice that, for example, typically women, as we are nearing our menstruation, many times we may start dealing with that urge or when you come out of a menstruation, typically when you're nearing, what is that? Ovulation, you may start feeling that. But if you feel the need to go into masturbation, then that's going to be a discipline issue, a self-control issue, and it could even be spiritual. So one of the things I often tell people to do in order to overcome that is just begin to pray. When that happens, just pray in tongues. Pray in tongues and don't lay there in the bed. Like that's when you're under attack. It's kind of like something my mom told me. My mother, I got in trouble. And if she was still here, she would have whooped me. She would have tried to whoop me anyhow. But she would have been mad at me because I made that mistake again, but it went well. So one particular time when I was younger, I was 17 years old. We were living in an apartment and I let, the apartment they sent out the message that, hey, they're going to send the guy to spray, right? They used to have that happen like every 3 months where, the guy would come out and spray all the apartments. So the guy came out and I had on this really skimpy short dress. I was in the bed asleep. I was taking a nap. And so when he knocked on the door, I went open the door, let him in, and I went back to bed. And my mother went off when she found out, when she heard me talking about it. And I told her because the guy followed me to my bedroom and, he was sitting up there, he sprayed and he was like, you can come let me out. And I was like, okay, but he was standing at my door and he was like, you look really nice. I said, thank you. And he said, can I get a hug? And I was like, and I gave him a hug or what have you. And yeah, thankfully they didn't go left. But I'm saying that to say, my mother taught me when you have people in your house that are doing, doing some stuff, you don't go lay down. You don't go to your bedroom. And I say that to say when there's a spirit in your house, you want to make sure that you don't go lay down as well. And when I say I fell the other day, the people came out, so they were replacing the floors, and they were here so long that I got tired. I went upstairs, went to bed, I locked my bedroom door. But I kept thinking when I did that, like if my mama was alive today, she would cuss me clean out for doing it, and I won't do it anymore. But whenever you're dealing with a spirit, for example, a spirit of lust, don't lay down. Don't lay down. Get up and just begin to praise God, begin to speak in tongues, just begin to worship, and that thing is going to flee. So the goal is to get it to flee. And you continue to do that. Be very mindful of what you're taking into your ear gates, your eye gates. Be very careful about the people that you are surrounding yourself with. Be even careful about the things that you may be retaining. One of the things that can lead to lust, and I've shared this story before, but I had an old friend of mine, really wasn't a friend, it was somebody I was more so ministering to, but she reached out to me one day, and this was some years ago, and she was like, Tiffany, pray for me. And she had been struggling with masturbation. She had done really well. I think she had went like 2 months, just being clean of it, and then she failed. And 2 months or two, I remember the number 2, I don't remember, but I remember she reached out to me, and while she was talking to me, the Lord laid on my heart about clothes that she had kept. And I asked her, I said, sis, and I started talking to her about clothes, old things, like stuff that you slept with somebody in, get rid of that stuff. I said, even when you plan to get married, you don't want to wear the same drawers that you wore with the last man or what have you. And I said, get rid of that stuff. And I started ministering to her about, stuff that you hold on to and how spirits like to attach themselves to that. And she said, OMG. And I said, what's going on? She said the night before she had run out. She had washed clothes. Well, she hadn't washed clothes, and she had run out of underwear. And so what ended up happening was she ran out of underwear. So she went and got an old pair of underwear because she used to be a stripper. She got an old pair of underwear that she used to wear when she was stripping. And she was like, she hadn't worn those things in a long time. She hadn't worn them since she was stripping. And I was like, yeah, get rid of all that stuff. So she went and purged her house. So that's for every single woman out there. That's just a bonus. Go and purge your house. I take my house through deliverance. I don't just take people through deliverance. I take my house through deliverance. A lot of times, just like when it comes to old furniture, I get rid of stuff that I had with my previous husband. I've gotten rid of the majority, 98% of the stuff. The last few things that I got left, I'm getting rid of them within a month, God willing. That television set right there is got to go. That dining room table, not this nook table, but the dining room table is got to go. And it's not that anything bad. It's just anything that's affiliated with the past. I believe in purging and let it go. So as you guys are in, do me a favor, make sure that you like and share. Let's go ahead and get the likes up. I believe that this is going to be relevant for single women. I believe that this is going to help you in your time. I believe that this is a moment or an hour that God put together for us to come and just basically break bread together, so that you can be more secure, more you can be stronger and wiser as you. And I don't like to use the word wait, because I'm not waiting on my husband. Waiting implies that you're passive and you're not doing anything. I'm just living my life, because he's not the end all be all. We got to get past the waiting mindset. We got to get past the mindset, well, I'm waiting on God for my husband. And I know I used to preach that heavily, but God has changed my heart. Like, I'm not waiting. Hey, Pastor Vanessa, how are you? I'm not waiting. I'm building. I'm going to do what I got to do. I've shared this with people before, but even right now, I'm like, God bless me with the money to buy the house that I want. I'm not waiting on my husband to go get my home. I want my house right now. And that's one of the things that a lot of single women struggle with, is that there are so many things that you are causing a delay on your own, because you associate that with a man. You're causing a delay on your own because, like, getting a house, buying a house. Why are you waiting? One of the things I've learned in business that's going to bless your life is that there's this old saying, or it's not an old saying, it is kind of old, but it's something that they say. If you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come. And I believe that wholeheartedly. I built a business when I hardly had any customers. I built a business. Everything I've built, you build when you don't have clients. You build when it don't look good. You build it. If you build it, they will come. And I think a lot of times, a lot of single women delay themselves because you're not preparing and you're wanting to give. Hear me when I say this. You're wanting to give the new man the same thing you gave the old man. And God's like, no, we got to get the likes up. We got to get the likes up. We got a lot of people in here. We got to get the likes up. Let's get some shares and some likes. Let's get some shares and some likes, guys. You're wanting to give to the new man what you gave to the old man. That's the reason why you struggle with unforgiveness. That's the reason why you struggle, is because there has to be a constant shifting. It has to be a constant change happening in your life. It has to be constant. And I've noticed, we talk about developmental delays. I've noticed that people who tend to be stunted or have a developmental delay, a lot of times, of course, Apostle Meadows teaches on this, but you get stuck at the point of your trauma. And whenever you have a developmental delay, you're basically just sitting there. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. You're just sitting there and believing God, but faith without works is dead. You're sitting there and believing God, and nothing is going to happen. It's not to say that God is not going to bless you, that God's not going to do something great. It is to say faith without works is dead being alone. Faith without works is dead being alone. So, to my single sisters, one of the things I wanted to deal with on today is there's this trend. And I've talked about it before, but it has to be discussed with you guys. To my millennials, Gen Z, and even my X generation, I need y'all to hear me, and I need you to hear me clearly. And I want you to repeat what I'm about to say. I want y'all interactive. If you liked it, make sure you like and share. I want you interactive. I want this to be an interactive message. I want you to hear this. Repeat what I say. If he doesn't pursue you, he doesn't want you. I'll talk when I start saying, if he does not pursue you, he does not want you. If he doesn't, I'm waiting on y'all to post it up. I know y'all still typing. If he doesn't pursue you, he doesn't want you. Thank you. If he doesn't pursue you, hear me when I say this. I tell people all the time, I speak Mangalese. Meaning I speak man. And thankfully, I've grown up around some players. I've grown up around a lot of different types of guys. And I came to learn a lot by watching like my mom's brother. He would live with us all the time. He was always moving in with us. And he was a handsome guy. So he had all these women. But I watched and I studied and I learned watching how these women would throw themselves, the desperation, how they would throw themselves. And I came to learn something about a man. Men appreciate and typically want the ones they have to pursue. But if he's not pursuing you, he doesn't want you. And I know you told yourself he's shy. Oh, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill your church crush. I'm going to kill your ministry crush. I'm going to kill not the crush himself, but the perception. If he doesn't pursue you, he's not interested. Because I know a lot of times we like to tell, like a woman would say to herself, he's just shy. He's just scared. Well, let's just say, because that could be the case. Very rare cases or what have you. But let me go ahead and deliver you from that. If he's afraid of rejection, y'all gonna be broke. Oh, you better hear me. If he's afraid of rejection, I'm in business. And I'm going to tell you something. In the world of business, we have to deal with rejection a lot. You got to acclimate yourself to it. You got to sit there. You got to get to the point where in the world of business, you pursue knowing that you're going to get rejected. And in many cases, I'm a producer. I produce things and I know there's a possibility that it's going to get rejected. It's a constant in the world of business. Any leader has to acclimate themselves with rejection to the point where they gotta have a hard chest. If you come across somebody who's afraid of rejection, y'all gonna be broke. Not saying he's not the one. I'm saying let him get healed. Let him get delivered. Let him get free. Because as long as he deals with rejection, he fears rejection, y'all gonna be broke. When you sit back and say, hey, I need you to contact this client, or this potential client, they ain't gonna want to do it anyhow. How do you know that? Yeah, I mean, the last time you talked, he's not pursuing you, baby girl. He doesn't want you. Hear me when I say this. I've said this before. Men are the surest creatures on the planet. And I often tell people, I joke about it, but I'm serious at the same time, not being cocky and being honest. I always joke. I say, I am the most proposed to woman that you could ever know. And when I say I'm the most proposed to woman, what I'm talking about is when I was in the world, I never had a problem. I was never the woman that the man was like, wham, bam, thank you, man. Because I understood men to a degree. And I'm not saying that means that I was doing the right thing, because obviously I wasn't. Those relationships weren't working. They were toxic. They were broken. They were not of God. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is this, that I've never had a problem. Because the thing about what I came to understand with guys is that, and this is something I typically, when I'm ministering to couples, I'll tell a woman, I say, you need to go learn man. Go learn mangalese. And I tell the man he need to learn woman. You got to learn how women navigate through their thoughts. You got to learn how men navigate through their thoughts. So a lot of times, for example, there can be a lot of fighting in a marriage because women tend to be a lot more, not a little bit more, but a lot more emotional than men. Men tend to be a little bit more logical. Men are more so atmosphere. Women are atmosphere setters. Men are atmosphere appreciators. They're the type of creatures that they need peace. They need to have an atmosphere of peace. They need to be able to come home and take their shoes off, take their drawers off, whatever they want to do, and just relax. And if you take that away from a guy, a lot of times he's not going to want to come home. He's not going to want to come home. And this is what the other woman does. She is a false atmosphere setter. She specializes in creating an atmosphere that allows him to have a measure of peace. She creates an atmosphere that allows him to have a measure of peace. So when you're home crying and arguing and complaining, she just says, hey, she put her kids to bed. And she said, come here, sit down. You hungry? Not to say, oh, she's good. No, she's bad. She knows what she's doing. But it is to say, women, we set atmospheres. Men come in and appreciate them, and they have to sustain them. They have to sustain them. A man knows exactly what he wants. They are the surest creatures on the face of this planet. Thank you. When you get into, let's say a man is checking you out. There are cases where a man will check you out for, a little bit, before he approaches you, what have you. He's trying to navigate that away, especially if he considers you to be wife material. Now, typically, when a man doesn't consider you to be wife material, a lot of times they'll just rush up on you, what have you. But a lot of times when a man considers you to be wife material, it's more of a risk involved. Like if you're just kind of girlfriend material, it's not too much of a risk involved because he's not planning to spend his life with you anyhow. But if you're more wife material, a man can pursue you, but he may be a little bit more distant. He may be more strategic or what have you. But how a man approaches you tells you a lot about that man and a lot about how he sees you. It tells you a lot about that man and a lot about how he sees you. Make sure you share this with every single woman that you know. But if that man approaches you in a way like, dang, you sexy. What's the root word of sexy? Forgive the boxes, guys. I've been doing a lot of work up in here. What's the root word of sexy? Thank you, AG. God bless you. What's the root word of sexy? Thank you, Sister Chrissy. I was getting a little concerned. I'm like, yo, the root word of sexy is sex. It's sex. So if a man approaches you and says, hey, you're sexy, what that man is saying is that I want to have sex with you. He's not looking at you as a wife. You got to learn to speak Mangalese. He's saying you have a nice shape and it's arousing me. And not necessarily arousing, but he's saying you have a nice shape. He's highlighting an area of you that he's interested in. And I need you to hear me and hear me with your chest, hear me with your ears. He that has ears or she that has ears, let her hear. You are a spirit inside of a body. Anybody who's interested in your body but not your mind is not your husband. Any man who's interested in your body, your cuteness, your long Indian hair, but they're not interested in your mind, that's not for you. You are a spirit inside of a body. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to deal with, again, if a man is not pursuing you, he does not want you. If he's not cute, it's okay, adorable, more like big brother type, you know. It depends on in the language, what have you. So you can always tell with guys, what have you. You can always tell a man's intention for you is typically found in his eyes. It's typically found in his stance and his position and how he treats you and how he addresses you. If he starts using sexual language, if he starts talking about having sex with you, if he references your body a lot, he's not looking to marry you. He's not looking for a wife. He's looking to bed you. He's not looking for a wife. He's looking to bed you. But I've seen many cases where, and I've talked about this before, but I gotta get you ready. I've seen many cases where a guy has said to a female, you know, the woman sitting up there like, oh, I like him, he's so cute, or what have you. And she pursued him. And the guy, you know, he reciprocated. Now, understand this. Men are just like women. In the retrospect, whereas we like your attention. He can like you, but he can like your attention, but not like you. So he can flirt to get your attention because it's an ego boost, but not like you. Somebody needed to hear that. Because sometimes women, a lot of times you start thinking just because he's flirting, that means that he wants you. Just because he's flirting, that means that he's interested in you. And we be getting up there and blushing, no. But there have been situations where I've known women who they've exchanged numbers with the man. And I'm sorry, it invokes a passion in me. But they've exchanged numbers with the man, and the man looked at him and he said, you know, let's go out to eat, let's go out to dinner, let's go out here. And they said, sure. They went out to eat. And while they were out to eat, he said, you know, be honest with you, I'm not really looking for a relationship right now. I'm not really looking for a relationship. I think you're cool. I really like you as a person, but I'm not looking for a relationship right now. Okay. Let me tell you what that means. I speak Mangalese. I don't want a relationship with you. Ask any man on here. Go ask your uncles, ask your daddy, ask your granddaddy, ask your great uncles. Go ask every male. Every male who's not vested in you. I'm not looking for a relationship with it right now. Translate. Man, I'm gonna help y'all translate. Today I'm gonna be a translator. That translates to, I don't want a relationship with you. I don't want a relationship with you. You have a lot of women who end up getting hurt and angry and disappointed because the guy that told them that he wasn't ready for a relationship will go out there and get in a relationship with somebody, and they be like, he just met her. He told me he didn't want a relationship. You needed a translator. You need a translator. Translation is, I don't want a relationship with you. Men are the surest creatures on the planet. And you're not, hear me, because I've seen this happen. You're not going to change his mind. Matter of fact, the more desperate you are, the more you confirm that he doesn't, you show him why he don't want you. You're not going to change his mind. You can sit up here, because this is what women do. Cook, hang out under the guise of a friend, allow him to block any potential male suitors that could come into their lives. They do all of those things to prove that they are worthy of his affection, of his attention, his affirmation. And what ends up happening, I've literally seen this happen. The woman will go 3, 4, 5, and 7 years pursuing a guy who keeps reiterating to her that he's not interested in her and that he just wants to be friends. And then one day he meets somebody that he's actually truly interested in, and he starts pursuing that woman. And then a woman that has followed him starts losing her mind. And let me go ahead and get this out the way. Please understand that a man can tell you, I'm not interested in you, or I don't want a relationship right now, and still kiss you and hold your hands and still not be interested in you. You're not changing his mind. We all have this thing where we want our next seasons. That's just the way it is. We want our next seasons. Most of us, we be like, I look forward to marriage. I look forward to this, and that. And sometimes we try to hijack our next season. That's what he's doing in that moment. He's trying to borrow a scene from his next season. He's looking forward to the moment where he get to tongue down his wife or what have you. So him kissing on you is just him relieving a thing that he has going on in that moment. Or maybe trying to get your clothes off of you. A man can have sex with you. Unprotected sex with you. Unprotected sex where he does not even attempt to prevent pregnancy, if you know what I mean, and still not want you. Now, obviously, I'm going to tell you, don't have sex outside of marriage, because when you have sex outside of marriage, at the end of the day, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. If a man trying to sleep with you outside of marriage, he don't want you for a wife. Very rare. Every once in a while, you may come across a guy who's willing to put a ring on it, but I wouldn't trust a man to put a ring on. If he's trying to pull my clothes out outside of marriage, he's telling me he has no self-control. He's telling me okay, y'all remember I told y'all this is going to be interactive. Remember I told you, hello, I'm all right, God bless you. Remember I told y'all this is going to be interactive. I want you to type this in. Marriage does not deliver a man from lust. Type it. Because I wanted to get into your head. If a man struggles with sexual immorality, marriage does not cure that. Marriage does not cure that. If somebody is struggling and he says, man, I don't know if I can do a relationship where there is no sex. I have never done one like that. He says that to you. Please understand that there is a spirit. This man has no self-control. And if he has no self-control, you can't complain when you get married to him and he has no self-control. Because there's a spirit that comes out the married men. It's not just the spirit of adultery, it's seduction. That's what that spirit's actual name is. It's the spirit of seduction. Seduction means to lead astray. That means he's heading in one direction and he's going to try. So there are women out here who literally have no interest in a man unless he's married. They will ignore your man, want nothing to do with him, but unless he's married. And they got a strong spirit of seduction on him. Some of them got weak spirits of seduction, and then he can get past the ones where they got the weaker ones. They don't know. But there are some women out there, hear me when I say this, they got a strong spirit of seduction on them. They got a strong spirit of seduction on them. And a man can sit back and tell, be like, listen, I don't know what happened. I'm a man of God. I love the Lord, but man, I was around that woman. I don't know why I got aroused. She got a strong spirit of seduction. Y'all know I shared a story with y'all. I had gotten married and I made up my mind, well, not made up my mind. It's just something that just instinctual, and this was the second time I had got married, but I was like, okay, I want to make sure that I'm a good wife to my, husband. I want to make sure, I want to be that wife that 50 years from now, my children look at me and they be like, Mom, you cheated on Dad? Never. And prayerfully, my husband would have the same testimony. Be like, cheat on your mom? She would pour hot grits down my Adam's apple, baby. I'm trying to tell you, your mama's a warrior. But what was I talking about? What was I talking about? I didn't. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Sister Telsha. God bless you, sis. I don't remember what I was talking about, but I'll come back to it. It'll kick in. What's happening is my after church nap is starting to kick in right now. I'm starting to get tired. But I'm saying all that to say, men are the surest creatures on the planet. Right. Okay. So he can have a strong spirit of seduction, or she can have I know what it was. Thank you, Sister Charmaine. You helped me to remember. So what ended up happening was and I've shared this with y'all before. I'm not going to go, but I started working for this magazine, and I knew it wasn't going to go well when the first time I pulled up to there, because I was working at AT&T. One of the girls at AT&T knew a guy who was launching a magazine, and she told him about me. I know this girl that does graphics. I think she'd be perfect for you, what have you. So she put me in contact with him, and then the day that I was going there, I had to call him from my cell phone, what have you. And it was just like, I was talking to not the owner, but one of the guys that worked with the owner. And he was like trying to help me, to get there. I don't know if we had GPSs then, but he was trying to help me to get there. And this is back in Mississippi. So as I'm pulling in, the guy starts staring. I'm pulling in and he does this number right here, because I'm on the phone with him while he's trying to give me direction. He does this number right here. So I'm pulling in. I'm like, oh crap, here we go. I was like, oh crap, here we go. So when I got out, he was like, you're beautiful. I said, thank you. And he started talking to me, and the owner called and said, hey, did Tiffany come? He was like, yeah, she's here. And this is how he did, because we had went inside the office by then. So we had walked in the office, and the owner was on the phone. He says, Tiffany here. Now I want you to pretend you Tiffany. I'm looking at you. He's like, yeah, I'm sitting in front of her right now. You didn't tell me she was so beautiful. I'm in this little bitty office with this dude. No, it wasn't little. It was a relatively large office, but I'm in this office. I felt squished. Yeah. So, long story short, he would flirt, but I didn't make a big deal out of it, because I was, I had a husband and he had a living girlfriend and kids, all that other stuff. I didn't pay no attention. One particular day, I was at the office. Now, mind you, the man I was married to was in Germany. I hadn't moved to Germany yet. I was in the office, just left alone, me and his dude. We working side by side on the computer. And he's typing, I'm typing. And it started feeling weird. It got real, y'all know what I'm talking about. That abnormal quiet, when it get abnormally quiet. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? When something about to go down, it just get real too quiet, and the typing starts slowing down. It started feeling real romantic up in that place. I was like, okay, this is. And I had it in my head. I'm like, man, I love, I love the man I was married to. I was like, I'm not about to do this. Right? It's that awkward where it just gets real romantic. I grabbed my phone, I grabbed my purse, and I took off running. The Bible says, flee fornication. I did that day. I took off. He was like, Tiffany, I said, I call you. I took off running out of the office. I didn't ball. I got in my car. I was praying. I was like, Lord, I don't know what that was. Because I knew I was delivered. I was like, Lord, what was that? Because I know I'm not a cheater. That ain't me. But I could tell, and the Lord said that man had a spirit on him. He had a spirit on him. He had a strong spirit of lust, and I felt that thing. I'm telling you, I felt that thing. That thing was up in there. I felt like that spirit of lust was behind me, giving me a massage. You good? Yeah. I took off. I literally got out that office and I ran. I always give this story. Joseph, when he was with Potiphar's wife, when he was alone with Potiphar's wife, Joseph was not running from Potiphar's wife. Joseph was a strong man. He could have overpowered her. Joseph was running from Mr. Winky. Joseph was running from himself. Joseph understood the assignment. Joseph understood, if I keep sitting in here and this woman keep pressing up on me, that is about to go down. And Potiphar gonna come home and his wife gonna be sitting up there trying to straighten up her wig. Joseph ran out of that house because Joseph had wisdom. What's the difference between attraction and the spirit of seduction? Attraction is natural. Seduction leads astray. So seduction is all about sin. It means to lead outside the will of God. It's normal. It's natural to be attracted to a person. But when somebody's trying to seduce you, they're trying to lead you outside the will of God, meaning they're showing off their breasts and their butt cheeks and they bending over and they're doing all types of things, or what have you, or they're using their words or what have you. So they're trying to lead you outside the will of God. People, you got to understand, there are some people who have a strong spirit of lust on them. They got a strong spirit of lust, and you get around them, you be like, why am I horny? Why do I feel like this? You feel like that because you're in a not so wise moment. You're in a not so wise moment. Hear me when I say this. When you're dealing with the opposite sex, you have to always remember that there's going to be one person that you marry. Everybody else is just somebody you're going to come in contact with. That's it. Hey, how you doing? What that means is if you sit back and you've made it up in your mind that you want to be married, you got to act like, remember I said if you build it, they will come. You got to act like you're married right now when you're single. I act like a married woman. So I already know how to act like a woman, married woman, obviously. But I act like a married woman. A man many times will have to look at my finger to figure out if I'm single or not. I act like a married woman. And you may say, well, how does a married woman act? I don't run around doing this to guys. Hey, how you doing? I may speak. I say, hey, how you doing? Or I may not. I stay focused. I'm not looking. I don't walk around going up to guys like, hey, you're so silly, boy. No. Most of the time you see me cracking jokes with a guy, he's in a relationship. And he ain't nowhere near interested in me, praise the Lord. And I ain't nowhere near interested in him. You know, and I know it is brotherly, and I know he's got integrity. But I don't really joke around with single men like that. I'm very mindful, very careful, because I know that you can easily lead somebody astray. You got to act like you already got the blessing. Act like a wife. If you build it, they will come. You get up and you clean. Prepare your house. Y'all see I got a couch behind me. I just bought another couch or what have you, but I got to get rid of the other one in order to get that in space. And then I got another one coming or what have you. But I don't do this for a spouse. Everything I do because, one, for God, or two, for Tiffany. So I want my house to stay clean. I want my house to be a place of peace. I've learned to master having an atmosphere of peace in my home. I done got so good. I done got so skilled. I done got so anointed at that anything that takes my peace away, I will take you to the bus station, to the airport, and drop you off. You got to get up out of my house because I can feel the shift in my atmosphere. My atmosphere has been set to peace for years. And I've come to learn that a lot, to my single women, a lot of you, your atmospheres have been set to chaotic for a long time. Your atmosphere has been set to emotional for a long time. You got to master having an atmosphere of peace. If you want to be married, you got to master. Remember, I told you wives are atmosphere setters. If you have not learned to set the atmosphere in your house, you can't ask God for a husband. Let's say you got kids. You better learn how to get them kids in order. Can't tell you how many single women I've talked to, and the kids be running around and tearing stuff up. And I'm sitting there looking like, you're not going to tell them to sit down? Girl, they just being kids. You're basically saying you don't want your next season. Why? Because you're too lazy to discipline your children. I'm just tired of yelling, girl. I'm just tired of yelling. I just let them have their way. Bring them to my house. I'm an atmosphere setter. Go sit down over there. Don't toss that ball around. Don't do that at my house. I have upset single women that come to my house. Not all, but I've upset single women because I'm like, hey, go sit down. Because the children run. I'm like, my house is not childproof. Go sit down. Oh, they just being kids. They can be kids outside. They gonna sit down when they come to somebody's house. They ain't gonna be up in my house throwing a ball around because you ain't got no money to fix something that you break and you ain't gonna be willing to fix it. So no, they're not gonna be flipping around and doing all that crazy stuff. They can do that at your house. But when they come to my house, they're gonna have to sit down. You gotta learn to set and maintain an atmosphere of peace. And anything that threatens your peace, you got to get it in order. And if it doesn't want to get in order, get it out. You got to do deliverance on your house. You have to do deliverance. You got too many women that sit back there and they keep saying, Lord, send me a husband. The children tearing their house up. Children ain't got no respect. Go to bed. I am. End up in there playing a video game. And you want somebody to come in and set. If you build it, they will come. You got to learn to set your atmosphere. You got to learn to set your atmosphere to peace. You got to learn to become filled with joy. And you got to learn to become relatively independent. The opposite of independent is needy. If you ever want to see a man run like Forrest, become needy and clingy. Now, some men like that because they like insecure women and not because they want to marry them, but because they know that they ain't got to worry about you running away and they deal with rejection. No healthy man likes a clingy woman. No healthy man likes an overly clingy woman. Where you going? I'm coming with you. Can I go? Who you on the phone with? How long you gonna be gone? I see y'all ain't sewing today. I might be stepping on some feet. Let's get the likes up, guys. If I'm blessing you, I ain't trying to offend you. I'm trying to get you ready. I told you, I'm probably the most proposed to women, so I think I can tell you that. No man wants an overly clingy woman unless he's a narcissist who's enjoying getting all your attention. And he doesn't want it. He doesn't want your attention like that. He's just allowing you to create this soul tie where you get to the point where you think you need him. If he ain't gonna be with you, you're gonna kill yourself. No man wants an overly clingy. Now, don't get me wrong. They don't want a distant woman either. No man wants a super independent woman. That's one of the things that God oftentimes deals with me about, is because many times I can be very independent because I'm used to being independent. But no man wants a woman. You got to have balance, guys. No man wants a woman that's super independent. I got it. And I can be guilty of that. I can be honest. I can be transparent. I can be guilty of that. I had this couch that was being delivered today. I'm not going to pull out too much, but I was at church and I got the notification. Well, I got the ring notification. I got the ring doorbell. So I got the ring notification that somebody was in front of my house. And activated the camera and I saw they were delivering my couch. I was like, okay, cool. I'll get it when I get home. You know, it was like 20, 30 minutes before church was over with. I was like, I'll wait till I go home or what have you. Anyhow, I was telling one of the little ladies at church, I was like, yeah, I got to get home because they just delivered my couch. I got to get it in. She was like, oh, you going to be able to get it in on yourself, by yourself? In other words, she was trying to ask me, you know, hey, do you want me to come help you? I was like, no, I got it. I didn't get it. I couldn't. No, I didn't. I couldn't. Thank you, Sister Kenyatta. God bless you. I couldn't. You know what happened when I got home? I pulled up in the driveway. I looked at the size of the door. I saw the door. I looked at the couch. I tried to push it through. I was like, I'm going to be able to do this. Thank you, Sister India. God bless you. You ain't going to be independent today, Miss Lady. So I called, and this is one of the reasons I always promote community. I thank God for my church family. I called one of my brothers in Christ, and I was like, I need a favor. I need a favor. And I asked him if he can come out and put it, when he came out, you know, and he came out, he was trying to get it in. I'm on one side of the door, him and his wife on the other side. I realized, I was like, I wouldn't have got that in, because I actually started to call the other girl that had asked me. I started to call her and say, hey, I need you after all. I realized we wouldn't have got that up in the house. Right? Don't be so independent that you look sick. You got to have balance. I was like, and when I saw him trying to get it in, the time it took to get it in, I'm like, I wouldn't have got that in. If I had to call that girl, we would not have gotten that in. I had to humble myself and say, okay, could you come? And thankfully he came, and he not only got it in, but he took all the stuff off with the legs on. I didn't know the legs were not going to be on. But you got to have a balance. You cannot be overly clingy and desperate and needy and whine. Ooh, y'all, that's one of my triggers. Whiny. You cannot be whiny. You cannot be whiny. Y'all think that stuff be cute to me, and it's not. Oh, you can't be whiny. You can't be whiny. You can't be clingy. You can't be overly independent. You have to have a balance. You got to have balance. But I want to go back here. If a man says that he's not interested in you, or if a man is not pursuing you, thank you, Sister D. God bless you. If a man says he's not interested in you, he's not interested in you. If a man's not pursuing you, he's not interested in you. You're not going to change his mind. Again, I've seen this a ton of times where a woman will pursue a man, and a man will say, hey, I'm not in the spot in my life right now where I want a relationship. And a woman says, oh, it's fine. And she'll still go out on dates with him. She'll still hang out with him. And you got to understand, as humans, we like attention. And she'll sit there, and I'm coming on here because out of all the women on here, I know I'm reaching one of them. If you keep pursuing this man, you're going to end up on, what's that show? Well, give me some crazy shows in the comment. Going to end up on the next episode of Stalked. And it ain't going to be him that stalked you. Or 48 Hours. Snapped. That's the one I was looking for. Snapped. Going to end up on the next episode of Snapped. I've seen women do that, and I've yet to understand why you do that to yourself. I've seen women do that where in Fatal Attraction, right? But I've seen women do that where they will sit back to verse 48. Right. Thank you, Sister Idina. God bless you. I've seen women do that where a man will literally tell them, I'm not interested in you, or I'm not looking for a relationship. And a woman will sit there. I've even seen them leave their churches for men like that. Maybe it's me. I've seen women sit there, but I've also seen them snap. And that is the truth, CT. Because a lot of them really genuinely do end up in a mental institution. because they will pursue that man for 3 years. And he'll sit there and allow you to pursue him, hang out with you the whole time. He's looking for his wife. The whole time he's waiting for his wife. And bro man will mess around and get married. Mess around and meet somebody that he's genuinely interested in. Thank you, Sister Geneva. God bless you. He will meet somebody that he's genuine and begin to pursue, and a woman loses it. She starts acting up because she starts looking at all of the sacrifices she made to be with him. She started looking at the fact that, hey, she left her church. She started looking at the fact that, hey, she cut off her friends. She started looking at all of that crap that she's done to be with him, only to have him lead her on for 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, and then turn around and say, hey, I met somebody. Okay, and just a quick deliverance, just because he allowed you to disrespect one female that he was seeing doesn't mean he's going to continue to let you do it. I'm speaking to somebody. What I mean is he told you that he was interested in being your friend and your friend only. And then, he went and got himself in a relationship. And then when he got in a relationship, you did little shady stuff to the girl to let her know that you were more than a friend or what have you, that you, probably bagged him or what have you. But at the end of the day, he sat there and he didn't do much of anything. He let you destroy that relationship. Let me tell you why he did that. He did that because he wasn't interested in that girl either. It does not mean that he thinks what you're doing is cute or that he's going to marry you. Y'all got to stop thinking that tearing down one woman is going to get you in a better position. You got to stop thinking that. I know, sis, he may be everything that you think you want in a man, but I'm going to tell you something. I thank God that he knew better than I did. Thank you, Sister Tia. God bless you. I thank the living God that he knew better than I did. I thank the living God that he had a better plan for me than I had for myself. Because if my plans had to come to pass, I would have been in Mississippi with 3 babies right now. Wouldn't have been in ministry doing nothing. Just been in my house, going to work and coming home. I would have been miserable because that wasn't part of the plan. I would have been miserable. Sis, I want you to hear me when I say this. And this is marriage prep. 1, you need to go heal. I can't put this on the table enough for women. I can't put this on the table enough. You come out of a toxic family, come out of toxic relationships, you need to go heal. And healing does not take place over time. You're not going to heal just by sitting there. Healing is only going to be given to those who pursue it. You got to study the 7 stages of grief to make sure, because some of you're still stuck in stage 3 of the 7 stages of grief from a relationship that you were in 10 years ago. You never got beyond that. And you can tell when you healed is when the circle completes itself. When you get to the point where you can take accountability for your wrong in every relationship. You're not there if you still talking about some girl, we broke up because he cheated on me. No, that ain't why y'all broke up. That's just the fruit of it. Y'all broke up because he wasn't the one. Y'all broke up because you weren't the one. Y'all broke up because you were sinning to get him. God says, submit yourself to God and resist the devil and he will flee from you. But you didn't submit yourself to God. Instead, you submitted yourself to the devil. And that's why the devil didn't flee from you. Instead, the devil laid down in the bed with you and called you baby boo thing. But deliverance takes place at some point. Your eyes kept opening and you had to keep closed. And eventually, go somewhere and heal. It saddens me that a lot of times women don't see the importance of healing. You become so pride-filled that you be like, ain't nothing wrong with me. Them idiots that hurt me and all these people that hurt me, they need to go heal. Because you're an emotional creature. The enemy wants to keep you in bitterness. And you heal when you can walk out that door and see Tyrone and it don't move you. You don't feel like I need to go back in the house and do my hair. I need to go bathe my face and makeup. Or when you can celebrate him. And then I'm talking about the ex. When you can celebrate your ex, if your ex saw you and he was like, let's say you bumped into him in the middle of the store and he's like, hey, and I want you to just imagine that one ex that got away, the one that you really wanted, the one that you were really mad at. And he looks and he's like, you're like, oh, hey, how you doing? He's like, I'm good. How are you? You looking good? You like, thank you. He's like, yeah. So, y'all have a little small talk and you say, so what you been up to? He's like, hey, about to get married. You're like, oh, wow. That should not hurt. That should not affect you in any way. It shouldn't upset you. It shouldn't anger you. You should be in that moment and look and be like, oh, well, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Look, I'm going to show you how silly and cool I am. And this is the reason why I have exes and they're not afraid of me. I'm silly and cool to the point where I be like, oh, congratulations. Please tell me you got delivered. Please go get some delivery before you marry that girl, because you know you crazy. And I just laugh. I'm not crazy. It was you. Please go get some healing. Please don't take that girl through that. I got myself. I'm just trying to tell you. Matter of fact, my ex-husband, I remember we had a conversation. And this was years ago. I don't talk to my exes or what have you, but this was years ago, and I was married, and this ex had called, and he was like, don't take out on him with, but he started talking about, his girl. He was like, yeah, she's the closest thing. He actually said this to me. She's the closest thing I could find like you. And I was like, okay. But I told him, I said, don't cheat on her. Don't hurt her. You treat her right. The next female ain't my enemy. You can't keep claiming somebody else's husband. You got with him, it wasn't for you. Stop walking around here peeing on dudes thinking that you own them. Y'all done broke up. Women, y'all, men do this too. But sisters, I'm not dealing with the men today. Sisters have a real major problem with letting go. Will sit there and be mad at everybody that got with him. But you done screwed like 3 dudes since y'all done broke up. You done been in like 3-4 relationships. You done screwed like 3-4 dudes. You done had a whole baby. How you still mad at him? Oh, I know I'm talking to somebody on here. How you still mad at him? Because of the soul tie. You have not taken accountability. Accountability is the end of a cycle. That's when you know you have healed and you are ready to move to the next stage, is when you're able to take accountability. The guy comes and he's like, I'm so sorry for all the stuff I've done. Listen, bro, you did some crazy stuff, but it was my fault. I have not, both of my exes have apologized. Most women don't get that because they knew that I was a good girl. And I don't punish people for leaving me. I don't hurt people for hurting me. Oh man, I gotta say this. Sis, you shouldn't be revenge minded. But the best revenge is healing. That's the best. The worst. Go heal. Pursue your purpose. Pursue God more than anything. Go heal. That way when you come in contact with the dude and you see him, he says, hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up? That same ex showed up in my door. Like I said, I had gotten married or what have you. And I was fresh and new in the new marriage, what have you. This was a long time ago. But showed up in my mother's house. Because whatever. It was, yeah, he showed up in my mother's house. And let me show you how cool I am. Even though I was like, oh, dude, we not together. But I looked at him and I was like, you getting fat? And he was like, I know. You know what? Because I can't blame him for being monstrous when I was the one that gave the monster the food that it needed to be the monster that it was. I didn't follow God. I wasn't doing what God told me to do. I was sinning against God. So when I took accountability, I can no longer blame him. If I go into my kitchen and I cooked spaghetti meat sauce the other night. If I take spaghetti meat sauce and I just kind of pour it all over my floor and I just leave it here for a couple of days. Thank you, Redeemed. God bless you. I just leave it there on the floor for a couple of days. Can I complain if I start getting rats and roaches? That's what y'all do. Doesn't make any sense. I should be able to put on my floor what I want to put on my floor. That's the argument people have. I should be able to wear what I want to wear. Sis, if you inciting lust, then when lust responds, don't cry. Now, I'm not saying there's some things, because there's sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you're dealing with bound people, but you can't put on booty shorts and then complain about a man talking about something you got. Y'all don't be wanting to talk because this generation wants to be a victim. This generation don't want accountability. If I put spaghetti and meat sauce on the middle of my floor and I leave it there a couple of days, roaches come in and they start inviting their friends, rats come in, and then spiders start coming in and all that. I start ending up with a petting zoo for animals. How can I then turn around and complain? I should be able to put on my floor what I want to put on my floor without that happening. I cut my lights on. I couldn't believe what I saw. It's the same thing. If you're having sex outside of marriage, you can't complain about what you attract. I haven't eaten, y'all. And because I'm hungry, I'm probably going to be too honest. You can't complain about what you attract if you're not willing to do it God's way. You can't complain about it. Submit yourself to God and resist the devil and he will flee from you. That's a promise from the word. If I submit myself to God and I resist the devil and all his temptations, the Bible says that the devil will flee from me. That means that even if you went to church and married a man from your church and y'all did it all right and he still cheated and dogged you out, turned out to be the biggest narcissist demon you ever come in contact with, you didn't submit yourself fully to God. That's called accountability. Tell the truth. Because sometimes what people do is they'll say, we were abstinent, but since you won't tell the people, you won't tell the world that, hey, what's your definition of abstinent? Oh, you don't go there. You're not abstinent if you're putting your hands on his private area. If you're engaging in oral sex. Any attempt to, you're not even abstinent if the two of you are masturbating. You're not abstinent. That's a false illusion. That's an illusion. You're not abstinent. You're not practicing self-control. You're just trying to deceive people. And you think you're deceiving God into believing, oh, we didn't really do anything. We just kind of fooled around a bit, but I ain't let them get it in, Lord. No. I've been abstinent 7 years and wholeheartedly abstinent. Wholeheartedly abstinent means no masturbation, no playing with nobody, because at the end of the day, you got to act like what you want. If you want to be a wife, you better act like a wife. I had to make a decision. Do you want to be a wife or a whore? Wife? Okay, now act like it. What do you want to be, a wife or a concubine? Wife? Act like it. I can't sit there and act like, well, I'll let you kind of test me out for now. And I'm sure you're going to marry me. Some of y'all be so cocky. That's why y'all be mad, because you be so cocky. You be thinking, oh, when I do this to this dude, I'm going to have him whipped. And then he still turn around and leave you. And you come to find out that you ain't as skilled in the bedroom as you thought you were. Skills don't play out in the bedroom. Oh, I gotta go there because I love you. Skills, what you do in the bedroom. A man is not looking for skills. The only man that's looking for skills is just a man who wants to rendezvous. When you talk about your skills, you're really talking about what you learned from Tyrone and Jason and all those other dudes. Y'all want me to go here? Your skills is scaring the guy away. Because first and foremost, you should be secure enough to say, when you say I don't have sex outside of marriage, and you secure that, and you prove that, you show that man that you are secure within yourself. And pulling this I don't know what happened thing is not. Men don't fall for that. Men don't fall for that. They know when you sit up there talking about somebody, it was just something special about you. I promise I've never done this before. They know that you lying. They just gonna play it along with you. If he says he's not interested in you, if he's not pursuing you, sis, move on. And another thing I need to just kind of put out there, you got to learn how to be single. You will never be good in marriage until you learn how to be single. Until you learn how to be single, you will never be any good in marriage. You got to learn how. Okay, I want you to imagine this. I've been single 7 years. I want you to imagine this. Imagine my husband was military and he was active full-time military, had to travel. If I can't be single these 7 years, how would I be single 2 years when he's on deployment? See, some of y'all be telling on yourselves. You got 3 months between boyfriends. I know you're trying to, well, I'm just dating. I try to keep my options open. You ain't doing nothing, going out there putting yourself in one soul tie behind the other. Study your word. Practice setting an atmosphere of peace. Make sure you get the healing that you need. Get the deliverance that you need. And make sure you're able to provide for yourself. You become a helpmeet the minute you're able to help yourself. The minute you're consistently able to help yourself and even help others, you become a helpmeet. You cannot ask God to make you a helpmeet and you don't know how to help yourself. If you can't get past offense, rejection, you have not learned how to help yourself. Is blocking someone seeing his revenge after they ghosted you? It can be. I would say, what's the nature of the blocking? If I'm blocking him because I don't want him on my page, looking at my page, that's one thing. But if I'm blocking him because I'm mad, then yes, that's revenge. Learn how to provide for yourself. One of the things I've said to Esther Prep, and I want to make sure that you guys get, if you're sitting around right now as a female, if you're sitting around and you got a dead end job, or your job is not paying you that much, or what have you, you're barely making ends meet, but you're not going to college and you're not doing anything to better yourself, you're waiting on a man. And women who wait on men don't get them. The ones who prepare are the ones who get them. Who wants proof? Let's go there. Let's get some evidence, guys. I'm sleepy. My after church nap has kicked in, but I love y'all. So I'm here. I'm going to be here for about 15, 20 more minutes. Y'all should know where I'm about to go. Matthew 25. And for my legalistic brothers and sisters, please let's not talk about the symbolism. Let's just be direct. The Bible can be symbolic, but you can also use that to, it's beneficial for teaching, period. It's beneficial for teaching. Okay. Matthew 25:1. The parable of the 10 virgins. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said to the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went out to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man comes. Of course, there's a symbolism. It's dealing with the coming return of Jesus Christ, about people not necessarily being ready, but you can also use this beneficial to teaching. The scriptures in their entirety, Old Testament, New Testament, are both beneficial to teaching. And I need you to understand this. God, when you prepare, if you build it, they will come. When you are prepared, that's when you are qualified. The ones who had oil, they prepared. That means that, at some point they made a sacrifice. They knew they needed to go to the market to get the oil. They're like, man, I got to go out here to these people to sell. Let me go get this oil. And they didn't wait till they ran out. They were wise. But then you had the other ones that they waited till they ran out of toilet paper to go to the store. I'm just using that. But they waited till they ran out. And that's when they were like, oh, dang. And then they get the notification that the bridegroom coming. They say, hey, excuse me. Can I tap into your anointing, sis? Can I glean from you, sis, so I can get my man a guy? And the sister's like, you go to the market and get your own. Prudence is one of the fruits of the wise woman. And prudence means to be prepared. It means to prepare ahead of time. Even though you don't see what it is that you're praying for, it means to prepare. So a prudent woman, for example, will go and may have a Sam's Club membership. A prudent woman will go to the store and buy things in bulk. A prudent woman uses wisdom in all things. She's not going to sit up there. Your husband shouldn't be sitting on the toilet talking about some, baby, we ain't got no tissue. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What we got? I'm so sorry, bro. You're going to have to use it. You're going to have to use this. Here. Put some water on so you don't cut yourself. Put some water on until you don't cut yourself. Husband up in the bathroom. Ah, I'm so sorry. Gonna take you a little bit of time to heal back there because that area is raw. Now you got to go get him some of that red dye stuff. I miss my mom because that's stuff that she would buy. Any part of your body that's open and was that iodine? If you say you want to be married, go heal. If you say you want to be married, forgive these dudes that walked away. Learn to be grateful for the ones who walked away. Iodine, okay. Somebody said purple lotion. It's probably a nickname. Be grateful. I'm not mad at no man that ever walked away from me. Like, seriously. And I'm not saying that because I'm on YouTube. I'm saying that for real. Thank you. Like it's a blessing. God bless you. They did me a favor. You know what? Let me tell you what they did. They got out of my husband's way. He couldn't get to me while they were blocking. Some of y'all will catch that, but some of y'all gonna just stay mad. These dudes got out of your husband's way and you mad. Want to get married, get out of the house sometime. I feel like I feel attacked. I feel attacked because I sure don't go nowhere. I don't go anywhere. I seriously don't go anywhere. Let these people go. Let these people go. And believe what a man, understand this, a man is the surest creature on the face of this planet. I'm going to say this lastly. If you do exchange numbers with a man and he seems to be pursuing you and all of that, one, if he tries to have sex with you, that's a red flag. But if after 3 months, let's say, because I'm not against the ministry of friendships. I don't want anybody to get confused. You know, if a guy says to you, hey, let's just see where this goes. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, if he says, no, I'm not wanting a relationship right now, that's different than saying, let's see where this goes. If he says, oh, let's get to know each other, what have you. I'm going to give you a timeline, sis. If after 3 months, he's still saying, let's see where this goes, he don't want you. The average man knows within 3 months whether or not he wants to pursue a woman as a wife or not. Wait a minute. What do you mean the one you sent away? I don't know what you mean. The average man knows within 3 months. Whether most men know 90 days, 3 months, they know. If you go to YouTube, if you go to Facebook, and I've challenged some women to do this before, and they've done it. Here's your challenge. If you want to believe me, go to Facebook, post up, say, hey, brothers, or Instagram, what have you. Say, hey, to the married men, how long were you with your wife before you realized she was the one? And I will guarantee you, the majority of men that's going to come and answer on your page are going to say 3 months. Men are the surest creatures on the face of this planet. If anytime a man acts confused, he's not confused, he just don't want you. But understand this, a man can see the benefit of having you around as well. So if you're willing to know that you're not wanted, but still stick around and be a benefit, you don't have the right to play the victim. Thank you, Amara. God bless you. You don't have the right to play the victim. If he makes it clear that he's not trying to pursue you like that, dude got 3 months to let me know. After 3 months, everything beyond that, no. Another thing, I know I have a lot I'm trying to give y'all on today, but it's just stuff I've seen women do, and it just makes me want to pull out my hair, and the braids included. What was I about to say? You can't play the victim. The other one to come back. You can't play the victim. You can't sit here and pursue somebody and then he makes it clear he's not interested in you. And then you get mad. You can't have sex with him outside of marriage and then get mad that he doesn't wife you. You can't. You can't. Because when you have sex outside of marriage, you're literally telling the man that your self-esteem is on the floor. And why would he want to marry you when he knows that your self-esteem is on the floor? That's what you're telling him. You're having a whole conversation about what you do with your body. You're having a whole conversation. So if you sit up here, if I'm telling the guy, you can come over, I'm telling him that there's a level of desperation there. You got to have self-control. Another thing I want to mention. Okay, before I say this, like, let's get some likes up in here. And then I need y'all to you got to promise not to get mad at me when I say this. You got don't use the word promise. There's nothing wrong with the word promise. I don't want y'all to feel like y'all making a covenant because I know some people can be legalistic, but I need y'all not to get mad at me. I need y'all not to get mad at me when I say this. I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy. I need y'all not to get mad at me when I say this. If you start dating a guy, and I done kind of drawn a blank, but I'm going to go there anyhow. If you start dating a guy and I don't want my awesome. If you start dating a guy and he shows you every sign that he's not the one and you still pursue him, you can't play the victim. If you're still in contact with your ex, you can't play the victim. If you giving it up outside of marriage, you can't play the victim. If you don't have your children under control, you can't play the victim. That wasn't what I wanted to say because I got sleepy and it went out, but it'll come back. But I had to give you those. What about the man who sees a woman and he immediately knows that a particular woman is his wife? How does that work? It's very rare that happens. Sometimes a man will tell you that I believe you're my wife because he's having either an emotional moment or he knows that that's what you want. And so it gets the panties off a lot faster. Without there being as much guilt, it speeds up the process of the relationship where you don't have to get through all of the red tape of getting to know each other. But it could be, and I'm not going to discount every guy because, maybe the guy experienced that. But if that's the case, then first and foremost, a good godly guy is not going to tell you that. I would not trust a man to come up to me and we get on the phone with each other. We just exchange phone numbers and he says, I don't know how to tell you this. The first time I saw you, God told me you were my wife. I see manipulation in that because I've seen that happen to a lot of women. And it was a lie. And a woman went straight into it. She was like, oh my God. I've seen it on both sides of the spectrum. I've seen women get excited, girl. And I'm like, child, you better test that spirit. That's a red flag. And then I've seen women cry. He said, God said, I'm his wife and I don't even like him. I'm like, girl, God didn't tell that man that. So yes, you will have men that tell you that you're the one. But you are holding on to somebody without testing the spirit. That's one of the biggest issues too that women have is that you don't test the spirit. Right? I'll be like, well, God ain't tell me that. When he tell me, praise the Lord. But a lot of times, even if, let's just say I meet a guy and, we go in the court, we start dating and we get into the courtship and everything and all is well. And one day, 3 months into it, there's nothing wrong. After you've been in it and y'all kind of established that y'all really like each other, you really want to go there. And he says, to be honest with you, but it's always good for him to use wisdom because when you're doing the prophetic word, you want to make sure that you talk to somebody. So if he would, and he talked to his pastor, or he talked to my pastor and say, God shared this with me, he could potentially share that with me. He could say, hey, not to put pressure on you, but I believe God told me, and I did talk to my pastor about it or what have you. I believe that God told me that you are the one for me or what have you. There's nothing wrong because he's tested the word. He's accountable with that word. He's not just throwing it on me to make me feel some type of guilt, to make me feel like now I can't leave you because then I'm disobeying God. Thank you, Nakeem. God bless you. Can you speak on a single pastor and single woman that are interested in each other but have not dated, courted yet? She is a member of his church. How do you know that he's interested? Because women, we be thinking men to be interested just because they look at us. They look at us past 4.6 seconds. We be like, a dude be sitting up there, dudes, y'all, I love y'all. Y'all, sometimes these guys ain't looking. Sometimes they cockeyed. They be daydreaming. And when they daydream, I be doing like this. I'm sorry, I'm acting silly, but no, for real. Sometimes the guy can be doing this right here. And you look over there and he like, and me, if a guy's staring, it makes me uncomfortable. So I won't look back at him. But I don't assume. Because he could be off in a daydream. Dude could be sitting there thinking, when I go home, I'm going to take a big bodacious crap. Man, I got to let it out. But he happened to be looking in my direction. And I'd be like, eh? Right, that's right. Healed. I wish people would do that. A lot of people don't do that. They just jump straight into another relationship. Straight into another one. Out of one relationship, supposed to go from glory to glory, not man to man. We said one eye on 95 South, the other on 10 West, right? I can't wait for you to join. Y'all, dude, sometimes just be daydreaming. Can I give you some big sister wisdom? Or the little sister who thinks she the big sister if you're older than me? A man can flirt with you and not like you. I told you I speak Mandalese. A man can flirt with you and not like you. Not want to have a relationship with you. You may say, well, why would he flirt with me then? Because he wants your attention. He like that attention. Women do it too. We'll flirt with a man and then friend zone. See, y'all thought y'all were the only ones that was doing that. We'll flirt with a man and then, we'll be like, I see you more as like a brother in Christ. Like a friend. Then proceed to keep flirting with him. Get mad at anybody that actually does want the dude, because we start getting insecure and realizing that I may potentially be messing up and rejecting somebody that's good, and she's swooping in. We still trying to scratch our scalp and figure it out. My sister girl ain't giving us that. She just swooped in. And swooped in like, you're like, wait. Don't take him just yet. I'm still trying to figure out, You can get his eye fixed. I was thinking about that the other day. I was just thinking about how, he probably wouldn't be so bad looking if we just fixed his eye. Y'all forgive me, guys. I just be funny. But I'm trying to tell you, you need to work on you. How do you overcome envy towards someone who got married and posts her partner a lot? Honestly, you want to hear the truth. One, you check your heart in it. You have to ask God, Father, deliver me from marriage idolatry. Deliver me from idolatry, period. Because envy is typically a sign of idolatry. It's a sign of rejection, fear of rejection, idolatry, and unworthiness, and also entitlement. Because here's the thing. When a woman gets married, if she marries the right man, I'm celebrating her. I'm happy for her. Because she's a testament that, oh God, look what God can do. If she's not married to the right person, it's either going to be one of those two. If she's not married to the right person, I don't envy her. If I don't know what the difference, if I don't know if she got the right man or the wrong man, I'm just going to say congratulations, sis. That's it. But you never allow yourself to start feeling that, because what you're jealous of is not the reality, but a perception of what you think she has, and an entitlement of you feeling like you're supposed to have that as well. Things are never the way they appear to be. And if any of y'all go out here, y'all get married, y'all, because this has happened to me. This has happened. I've ministered on relationships for years. And I've had so many women to reach out to me and say, hey, Tiffany, thank you so much. I took your advice. I've been following you for years. I've done this and I've done that. I met the man of God. Now we're engaged to get married. God has confirmed it. And I'm like, well, praise God. I'm excited for him. Because God used me in that. But I don't look and be like, are you going to use me and then you're going to turn around? No, I'll be just like, okay, God, okay. Praise God. But to get the blessings of God, just show gratitude. You be thankful and you celebrate. So the way that you overcome it is basically be honest with yourself, cast down all imaginations that We'll try to make you feel jealous toward them. But just begin to pray, celebrate them. Say, hey, I'm so happy for you guys. I congratulate you. And then at the same time, change your mind about what you think marriage is. Because when you get married is not something that, honestly, marriage is beautiful. Marriage is a beautiful event. I'm not gonna lie. I was married to the wrong dudes, and yeah, I said dudes for those of you who are new. I've been married 2 times when I was back in my silly stages. But in both cases, there were times where it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Marriage is a beautiful event. I can only imagine what it would be like with the right guy. I can only imagine what it would be like with the right guy. With somebody who's emotionally, mentally, and spiritually stable. I can only imagine what it would be like with the right guy. I date one with no teeth and a bald spot. Wait, hold up. And he swear he is God's gift to women. Glad be away from him. Gosh. Okay, Sister Vanessa, I need a favor of you. I need you to go stand up and go into a corner, just for about a few minutes. Just being funny. I was married to the wrong man for 32 years, and finally filed for and got a divorce 6 years ago, free at last. Others question why I left my big house. A lot of people don't understand what it's like to be married to the wrong person. But if you want to know the truth, when we married the wrong person, it's because we were the wrong people as well. And what I'm trying to do is make sure you get to the end of that. Every season ends in accountability. Every season ends in accountability. Without accountability, you can't come out the season. But I can sit back and look and say, okay, I made some mistakes in my life. And yes, the first guy he had a lot of issues. He did a lot of crazy stuff. But at the end of the day, marriage ended because it started. Second guy, that one brought me to my knees in prayer. I was the first one. I thought that was the second one had me fasting. I was like, listen. I was fasting for deliverance. Like, Lord, if you take him away, I promise I will be abstinent. I came out another time. I was like, look, you get me out of this. I won't even kiss a dude before marriage. And that's my thing. I won't. I will not kiss before marriage. I will not. Me and my husband gonna kiss for the first time at the altar. When the pastor says you may now kiss the bride. Other than that, he can be sitting in the car looking at me like, oh man. I'm like, well, it's good hanging out with you. Okay, we'll see you later. Well, I get no. I accept 50% of the fault. Yeah, I would say this. Never put it on a percentage thing. I can sit there and I can say that my exes did wrong. They did really wrong. And I can say they are 100% in fault. If we looked at what they did or why the relationship ended. But I'm 100% at fault for giving myself to them. So it's not a 50-50 thing. The issue is the monster, I gave myself to them. They were going to be monsters regardless of who they were with. They were going to be monsters. It didn't matter if it was with me or not. And at the end of the day, if I hadn't got with them, I would have found another monster because I wasn't ready in my heart. I wasn't right in the head. I would have found somebody else because I was too busy looking at, dang, he fine. It's Colonel. I just didn't think cute people should go to hell. I was trying to evangelize. I was like, he's too cute to go to hell, God. Look, he got dimples and everything. Lord, come on. I can fix him. He's a broke down car on the side of the road that don't nobody at the junkyard and they just take it for parts. And I'm like, no, don't worry. I'm going to fix him up. I'm going to fix him up. I'm going to take him and I'm going to tow him to truck. I'm going to tow him to church. Ding, 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 ding. I'm brought him to church. We can't let this one go to hell. That's just way too much. He's just way too cute. He just, come on. We are guilty of the fixer-uppers. We got to get delivered from the fixer-upper ministry. We dragged him to church. I'll tell you, mine got up in church and he did this to my pastor. And I'm like, why you mean mugging my pastor? Uncross your arms. It looks like this in church. Why you mean mugging my pastor? Don't do that. Sit up. What we do? We drag him to church. Then we leave our church because this pastor couldn't fix him. Then we have another church. Everybody move. Take him up into that church. He mean mug that pastor. Successfully get him to the altar. Hallelujah. Get him up there to the altar. They lay hands on him. And he just like, that spirit ain't going nowhere. You got to be willing. It's funny. I've counseled couples, and I know the man was a warlock or broken, a piece of just a mess, hot mess. And I've seen times where the woman has got her husband, finally successfully got him to the altar, got him and dragged him to church and convinced him to come to the altar. And he go up there all prideful, and they go lay hands, and he like this. They lay hands on the woman, and she, and they come back and say, Timmy, I don't understand. He's the one with the demons. Why was I going through deliverance? Now he thinks it's me. He's like, yeah, see, them demons came out of you. They ain't come out of him because he wanted them. You can't cast demons out that people won't let go of. He just stood up there, girl. How they gonna take me through deliverance? And he's the one, I brought him to the altar because he's the one doing all this crazy stuff. And then they gonna give him a prophetic word that God's gonna use him. What kind of crazy, y'all? I know I'm talking to some, because some of y'all don't get been through that. I told you I was gonna talk to y'all today. I wasn't gonna teach. I was just gonna really talk to you. Some of y'all have been through that. A warlock is a male witch. You'd have been through that. You'd have took him to the altar, and he got a prophetic word. You were rolling around on the ground, growling and spitting up. Then he'd be like, I like your church alcohol. Because he watched you roll around on the floor and scream and manifest, and you look like you about to levitate off the floor, and he's just standing there. And they said, God said he's going to use me. Now he's convinced that you're the problem. Sis, so if you're confused about that, and this is going to help a married woman out there somewhere, if you're confused, God doesn't speak to the broken state. A lot of times God speaks to the healed state of the person. So God will give a prophetic word to a person where they say, God said he's going to use you. They see the call on his life. But he wasn't willing to go through deliverance. You went through deliverance because you were ready. Thank you, TJP. God bless you. You can go to the Mass Deliverance link. Sister Catherine, you post that up, and I'll be keeping you guys posted on that. You keep dragging these dudes to the altar. I'm going to say this, and I need to get off of here because I need to go get my after church nap. I got a lot of work to do. My whole point on today is this. Sis, go love God with all of your heart, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. You need to go love yourself. Go do some things for you that you want a man to do for you. Learn how to create a safe place for yourself. Let God do that. Go seek to do something better. Create an atmosphere and sustain it of peace and of joy. Learn to forgive. That's another thing. If you got a problem forgiving, don't even ask for marriage. Don't even ask for marriage. Marriage is honestly, you got to do a lot of forgiving in marriage. I'll answer it in a minute. I'm going to restore the deliverance things in about just a few days. I'm sorry, I ended up taking the month of June off as well. I am taking the month of June. I have so much work to do. And a lot of times when I open it up for that, I can't get to the work, and it just causes more delays. It just causes more delays. Go heal, sis. Sis, go get delivered, sis. Learn how to help yourself so you can be a helpmate. Sis, go change your phone number. No ex of mine can have my phone number. That is just a rule of mine. I don't ever want my husband to come into my life and my ex got my phone number. And he can call me up and be like, hey, what you doing? That devil is a lie. Hey, Tiff, did you ever do your abstract art that you were going to hang? I didn't. I haven't done it yet. I still got the canvases up in there. It's still, the canvases are still in the package. They're still in the package, but I'm going to get to them. Sis, go heal. Sis, go change your phone number. I'm challenging you. I'm giving, listen, 372 people on here. I'm challenging you. If your ex got your phone number, change it. Remember I told you, if you build it, they will come. If you want to be married, set the stage for marriage. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Earlier, I told you it's going to come back. If you want to be married, you can't date everybody. In a year's time, you should not have dated 4, 5, 6 dudes. You can't date everybody. I know somebody gonna say, well, how do I get to know people to see if they're the right one? Ask questions in the parking lot. Most men that have come after me in my single season did not get my phone number because I asked the right questions while we were standing there, while they were asking for my phone number. I said, where are you in Christ? I believe in a man of size. I'm not your wife. Not going to waste your time. If I give you my number, I end up blocking you. So, no, I'm not for you. That eliminated more than 90% of the dudes. You know how effective that is? And it's fun because right there in the moment, sometimes it's fun. For me, I think it's funny sometimes the reactions that men have because they're not used to that. It's really funny. Try it out. You'll like it. I love the how a guy will sit up there and he's like, so can I get your number? I'm like, where are you in Christ? And it catches him off guard. And I found that out of those 90%, the majority of them started when you say that. Wow. Yeah. I didn't expect that one. Never had that happen to me before. And I'm still there. And let me tell you something. You don't turn when you ask that question, you look him straight in his eyes and you keep your eyes on him. Where are you in Christ? Don't turn your head because you're giving them time to stutter and think of something. Because you race the brain. You do something to a person's brain when you look them straight in the eyes. Keep looking in the eyes. Where are you in Christ? I believe in God. You're not for me. That's it. You eliminate 90% of the dudes that you have to go through rejection and heal from rejection from. If you just sit there, you eliminate, and the ones that don't get eliminated, 3 days. 3 days. Typically, if you ask the right questions. 3 days. Give me 3 days, and I know for a fact I don't want you calling me no more. You start talking about I don't know if I can do sex or relationship without sex. I'm good. Yeah, bro. I'm not for you. Are you in a relationship? No. Is there anybody that thinks they're in a relationship with you? I got this ex-girlfriend, but we ain't in a relationship. Okay, you need to go work that out. Right, typically day 1, but give me up to 3 days. Because I'm asking the right questions. See, here's the thing. This is what helps you to ask the right questions. When you're not desperate for marriage. I'm not desperate for marriage. I'm desperate for Jesus. So I'm going to ask questions. I don't want to hear people Bryson in the background. Bro, I don't want to hear people. It ain't that time yet. There's a season for everything. It's not that season. I don't want to hear turn off the lights. Cut that. Can you cut that off, please? And a lot of y'all get mad for being ghosted. You do me a favor if you ghost me. If I'm not the right person, I would prefer communication. And what's the difference between asking the right questions and um, integrating? I guess interrogating. Um, Asking the right questions can seem like an interrogation. I'd rather interrogate him in the beginning than in the end. So I wouldn't do an interrogation like ask. I give him a chance. So we're communicating. It's like double dutch. He's asking me questions and I'm asking him questions. He asks me questions, I'm asking him questions because we're trying to get to know each other. So I don't want to be just on the phone because a lot of times this is what gets people in trouble and get these relationships where I can't believe it's like I feel like I've known you for a long time. That happens when you don't fill in the spaces on a conversation. So when you first get to know somebody, when you're starting to get to know people, you're supposed to be really genuinely getting to know them, like asking questions like, tell me about your, where did you go to school? What are your aspirations in life? Who is your pastor? What are your beliefs? How many children you have? Are you active in your children's life? What happened to your exes? It's asking those questions because you're getting to know his character. You're getting to know the human being. So it can feel like an interrogation in the beginning. But a lot of times, if you're not asking questions, then y'all going to be breathing on the phone. And if you go to breathing on the phone, then y'all going to start trying to fill in the blanks. And then that's when he starts saying what you got on. That's when, of course, that's when the conversation turned a little dark. What you got on? The whole armor of God. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Right? If he's an atheist, you need to know. If he's an atheist, if he is a 5%er, or he's in a false religion, if he has a hatred toward women, if he doesn't believe in accountability, if he it's the ice cream man, Milo. If he got homosexual tendencies, you want to know that. You hang out with him, pay attention to him. Look at his eyeballs. Hey, you can trace people's eyeballs. You know that. Wives know that. If you ever been married to a cheater, you learn you learn how to peripheral view people. You learn how to become almost like you learn how to cock your eye. you learn how to be looking straight up ahead, be watching at the same time. You learn. You be like, I saw you staring at her. Go get her then. Go get her. Excuse me, I'll hook you up. Excuse me. My husband wants to hook up with you. Have a good life. Don't act like that, y'all. That's why you don't marry the wrong person, because they'll have you out there acting like a child. Right? Ask about the childhood. Find out about the relationship with his mama. Find out about his exes. Why did y'all break up? I remember when I prayed about this one guy, and this was years ago. My friend girl, she challenged me because I was really liking the guy. Me and this guy, we were trying to build a relationship or what have you. And he was a little bit older than me, and I'm not into older guys. Like I'm not the cougar. I'm not the cougar type. But this guy was. I'm not even a type, but that's not a cougar in that situation. But I was probably like 30. He was like 42. And my friend girl, she was like, Tiffany, you need to ask him questions. She kept telling, because she knew he wasn't the one. So I prayed. She was like, you need to pray. And I got mad at her for telling me to pray. Because I was so young in the faith and what have you. And this was before I met the second dude I was going to run off with and holler, I do. But I was like, she was like, Tiffany, you need to pray. I was like, I need to pray. And the reason I didn't want to pray is because I knew in the back of my mind that God was going to say no to the dude. I knew that. Why is the ice cream man out there? We shall resist. But ended up, I had a conversation with this guy. And the thing that attracted me to him was that even though he was older, he was young acting. Had the long dreads, the pretty skin, the big, beautiful eyes, motorcycle, made 6 figures, owned his own business, was really confident, all of that stuff. And I was just like, can make him right. At that stage in my life, I still thought you can make a dude right. And my friend, she was like, Tiffany, you need to pray. Finally, I did pray. And then what God did was gave me the question to ask him. God said, ask him, what's the longest relationship he's ever been in? I said, hey, what's the longest relationship you ever been in? And I think he said 4 years. I was like, wait, you 41 or 42. That's the longest relationship you ever been in? Because when you come to, now for those of you who are 30, you be like, well, you still 30. That's different. But somebody who's 41 or 42 and they've only had a 4-year, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. But he was like 4 years. I was like, 4 years? That lets you know people have limitations. Like some people can only go so far in a relationship. They can only go to year 2, year 3. After that, they're over it. They don't do very well in relationships. And so what that did, that showed me that if I was gonna be with him, we had 4 years. I was gonna have 4 good years. And we may have we could have broke a record. I could have gotten 5. You don't believe me? Go back and look at your exes and ask yourself what was the longest relationship they had, and you'll find that the length of your relationship matches the length of their relationships. In most cases. And this is the same guy. And I asked him that. Then the Lord was like, okay, now ask him about his girl, ex-girlfriend or what have you. This is the one told me that him and his ex-girlfriend his girlfriend at the time had got into a fight. Well, that was his ex by then. Got into a fight at his mother's house, and he got her outside and body slammed on the ground and held her head up and was stuffing grass in her mouth. I've been in an abusive relationship before. That did not, oh no. 29 years, that's good. I wasn't his longest. It was 2 years. Right. People will tell you how long they can be with you. Just ask them. What's the longest relationship you have been in? Why are you asking that? What's the longest relationship? 6 months. Girl, if you don't cut those toenails and run, if you don't cut those toenails and run, because you do this to yourself, then you turn around and play the victim when it don't work out. Literally told you how long he gonna be with you. He doesn't do well. He don't. Okay. If his longest relationship is a year or 2, he does well in the honeymoon stage. So I've drawn this before, and this is just a talk. It's not even a teaching today. It's just a talk, and I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to show you something. I've done this before, and I'm just going to show it to you. And then I'm going to take my after church nap. Okay. This is how the standard American relationship looks. Let's see if I can do it this way. Let's see if I can do it this way. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. This is how the average standard American relationship looks. This is the average standard American relationship. You go from 0 to 100 within a week or a month. The average American is addicted to dopamine and oxytocin. We love the feelings. So this is not a healthy relationship. You're going to get to, everything is going to have a peak. When you get to the height, That means y'all done love bombed the crap out of each other and kissed on each other and did all the things that you want to do. There's nowhere else to go but down. Now I'm starting to get, what we have a tendency to do is we get right up here. Then we start trying to get to know the person. You were supposed to get to know him back here. Is this making sense? You were supposed to get to know him right here. That's not what we do. We typically wait till we get up here and get to know somebody, then they let us down. We call this cloud nine. A healthy relationship looks like this. Let's see if I can do this. A healthy relationship looks like this. Me getting to know the guy, there's going to be a little bit of a spike because we're both happy. We like each other. There's going to be a little bit of a spike. Now we're getting to know each other, stabilized. I don't know him. He don't know me. We're going to have a few spikes here and there. We say things that get each other excited or what have you. Then the relationship starts going up. We start realizing we like each other. And, we start realizing that we're compatible and we're being prayerful. We're being accountable. And then right here, he gets to a point where he proposes. And then we keep going up and we keep going up and keep going up. And then we stabilize. And in that stabilization, we're going to go up, 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 up. And there are going to be times when we go down. But the fact of the matter is, our relationship has a foundation. It has been steady. And so what we've done is we've learned to create a steady rhythm. Because right then and there, what we've done over the course of time is we've learned how to be friends. We've learned how to be friends. We've learned how to get to know each other as human beings rather than him just looking at me talking about we're going to have some Frida babies. I can't wait to hold your moms. Right, never be someone sacrificial. That's a whole other message. A lot of women got to learn it. He should choose me. The day I sit up there and put myself as an option for a man, I give you permission to backhand me. Let me find out I'm somebody's option. I got another. Tiffany, you and I are friends, right? And I got somebody else. She's my friend. Okay, that's cool. Watch and see. Dude would be a straight up history lesson. A straight up history lesson. Get out of my husband's way. I don't do the ministry of confusion. I don't care how cute he is, what he drive, how much money he got, because that stuff, I got my own money. I got my own stuff. I got my own car. I have my God. The most dangerous and blessed woman that a man can have is one who doesn't need him. I just preached. Because I'm not with you because I need you. I'm with you because I want you. And it's the same. I don't want a man who needs me. We create a need for each other. When you get married, you create a need. You create that in each other. I don't need him to pay my bills. I don't need him to take care of a lust issue because I don't struggle with lust. I don't need him to affirm me. God already did that. I don't need him to heal me. God already did that. I'll put the work in. Oh, wow. She needs deliverance. I got everything that I need from God. I've gotten everything I need from God. When the man comes, we bless his name. I'm not sitting there like, oh my goodness, you have no idea what these bills have been doing to me, Gregory. I'm just making up a name. You have no idea. I'm looking at a paper that has the word Gregory on it for the tax. But You have no idea what the bills have been doing to me. It's been awful. It's god awful. You hear me? It's been terrible. No. I've been wanting to buy a house, get a car, travel the world, and it just took you forever. Where have you been? Oh, I can stay down here because I have God. God is my hero. He is my provider. He is my everything, literally, genuinely, wholeheartedly. He is my everything. I have no need of nothing because I have my everything. That's the language of a wife. That's the language of a wife. And that's what I'm trying to get you to, is to get there and beyond where I am. Go heal. I can't say that enough. And I say that because, man, women in the United States, a lot need some major healing. Not all, but a lot of women. Majority of women need to go heal. But it's our culture to remain broken and be sitting up there waiting on this guy, because Hollywood showed us that the man gonna come along and he gonna fight for me. He gonna prove himself to me. Because do you know what he did to me? How he cheated on me, and now you want to tell me that you love me? Oh, now, bro, you got to prove yourself. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. I got trust. If you say I got trust issues, I got a question for you. What are you doing about it? Oh, I know I hit somebody in the throat. I hit you in the jugular, but I'm doing this because I love you. What are you doing about your trust issues? What are you doing about your unforgiveness? Did you buy a book? Are you going getting therapy? What are you doing about the hurt? Are you just waiting for somebody else to come along and do the work for you? Girl, I know I'm gonna get married. And that man got to come in and deal with all that stuff. That the best blessing you can give your husband is a healed wife. Thank you, Sister Linda. Best blessing you can give your husband is a healed wife. A healed and whole wife. Somebody knew in the soul. Thank you, Sister Lasagna. God bless you. A healed, happy, whole wife that pay her own bills, that got order in her home, that's disciplined her flesh, that loves God with all of her heart, mind, and strength. A praying woman. A woman who seeks to grow in all things. A teachable woman. A woman who's correctable. A forgiving woman. A woman who's not afraid of the word submission. She understands it because she understands it doesn't mean that he's going to control her. A woman who puts more in her head than she does on her head. I'll keep you guys posted about mass deliverance. Best thing, the best wife you can give your husband is the best mother you can give your children. Children right now are having to pay for their mother's desperation. Because children become a sacrifice. Thank you, Sister Tashana. God bless you. Children become a sacrifice the very moment. If you're in idolatry, you're going to give your children as a sacrifice to the God that you're worshiping, and not the Most High God. If you're in adultery, when you get into a relationship, you're going to make your children do certain things that they shouldn't have to do in order for you to prove to this man that you do trust him, trying to keep him in your life. You will make your children serve. You will make your children greet a man who don't greet them. You will make your children tolerate watching a man mishandle you. You will use your children as a sacrifice. Anytime there's any other God but Yahweh, you will always force your children to bow down to that God. You will always force your children, and you will always get upset when you feel like your children are coming between you and the very thing that you worship. Thank you, Sister Tilly. God bless you. And they end up growing up hurt. They end up growing up having these issues where they don't feel love, where they're dealing with rejection, and they repeat the same cycle. And then they don't want to have a relationship with you like that. Then you play the victim. I raised y'all to the best of my ability. I did everything I could. I did all that, and y'all want to turn around and do me like that? It's because of what you did to them. Those little kids that you really don't think too much about right now because they're young and they don't have all the sense that they're going to have. Right now, they're going to grow up and get some sense. And they'll surprise you. That little boy that eat crayons may end up being a doctor. And right now, you may not think that it's going to affect him, but who you worship does matter. Because now he got to worship it. Or he got to be the sacrifice to it. He got to watch you sacrifice him just to prove to the man that you trust. Hey, you'll babysit my kids. Giving those children up as a sacrifice. But let me go. Thank you guys for coming and sitting with me today. Because like I said, today wasn't more of a teaching. It was more so a discussion with you. But I'm going to just sum it up in these things. In this. If a man says he doesn't want you, believe him and walk away from that relationship. If you're dating a guy for more than 3 months and he doesn't put a title to that relationship, leave that relationship because it's not a relationship. He doesn't want you. Don't have sex outside of marriage. Don't be desperate. Learn to set the atmosphere in your home. You do that through worship. Set it to peace. And so you become acclimated with peace outside of a relationship. Put God as number one in your life. Go heal, forgive, get counseling, do whatever you got to do. But make sure that you become the very thing that you want. You want a man to love you, learn to love yourself. You want a man to provide for yourself. You want a man to be your best friend, become your own best friend. Learn to enjoy your own company. Whatever it is that you want, you got to first become it. You become what you attract. You attract what you become. Let that minister to you. All right. I love y'all. Thank you. If you want to sow a seed, you are free to do so. I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon.